Prague is a really international city, so we taught in so many different languages because there are people from all over there, and sometimes all we could do was give them the Book of Mormon in their language and show them the Joseph Smith video in their language and give them pamphlets, and that was the extent of it. And we had one boy who was from China, and his family was there. They owned a Chinese restaurant, and he came to English one day. His name was Li Hong, and he's kind of a shy kid, and I think he was 18 when we first met him, and he almost didn't go into English, but then a senior couple came in and opened the door for him, and they're like, come on in. So he came in, and his Czech wasn't very good at all, his English wasn't very good at all, but we started talking to him. We taught him English, and then afterwards we started talking to him a little bit, and so we got out Chinese pamphlets and we'd give them to him, and we started meeting with him a little more after English lessons, and we'd go on to the library and type out something into Google Translate and then print it off and be like, here, do you understand this? And he'd be like, yeah, but we were never quite sure if he did. And so that was for maybe a transfer and a half. I was there for quite a while, and then I got a new companion who had actually studied Chinese for a few years in college, and so she was able to understand a little bit more, and we found out that he'd been reading the Book of Mormon, and we were like, whoa, he is interested in it. And word got around to our mission president about that, and he was like, well, this isn't going to cut it, because her Chinese wasn't that good anymore after learning Czech. And so he called up his friend who was a mission president in England, because that's where our mission president was from, and there he had a lot of missionaries who spoke Mandarin Chinese. And so we started teaching him with these other missionaries serving in England through Skype. And so we would bring him to activities, make sure he had friends and stuff like that, and then we'd meet with him on Skype, and they'd teach him, and we'd share little things, and it was so cool. And actually he ended up getting baptized, and one of the missionaries who taught him on Skype he was just finishing his mission, so on his way home he stopped by Prague, and he was able to baptize him, which meant he could translate the whole thing into Chinese for him, and he could do his confirmation in Chinese, which was really significant to him. And it was so neat. He was so on fire, and he was like, when I'm older, I'm gonna have church in my house in China with people, and he was so on fire to be a missionary. And it was just so neat to think that the Lord took a boy from China and sister missionaries from the United States and had him meet in Prague, of all places, so that he could learn the gospel. And it was such a neat experience. We were all obsessed with him. It was so cool.